Hi, I'm Kim Walker, Director of the School of Music, and today I want to extend a warm welcome to all of you for the MusicHub event. Each week we're sharing new stories from the faculty and the students, all about what inspired them about music and brought them here to Texas Tech University in the very first place. I hope you'll enjoy these inspired stories at least half as much as I do. Thank you and enjoy.
Hello, and welcome to the Music Hub of the Texas Tech University School of Music. My name is Charles Olivier, and I am your host for this episode of a Music Hub Moment. On today's show, we will be listening to an interview with Dr. Katalin Jacob. Dr. Jacob graduated this semester with his DMA in Piano Performance and a certificate in Piano Pedagogy. Last fall, Dr. Jacob competed in the 2020 Texas Tech University Concerto Competition and won the piano division of the competition, which means he will be able to perform the Franz Liszt Totentanz with the Texas Tech University Orchestra in the 2020-2021 school year. Now let's listen as Dr. Jacob guides us through what it takes to prepare and perform in a competition like this. Thank you so much, Dr. Jacob, for coming and sitting down with us and talking about your recent winning of the concerto competition for the 2020 Texas Tech concerto competition. So let's go ahead and get started. What instrument do you play, and actually what degree have you just finished?
Hello, and thank you for having me in your show. Yes, I'm playing piano. I just finished my doctoral degree in piano performance under the coordination of Dr. William Westney. And I was just blessed, I can say, to be able to finish my degree with him since he retired as well. And on top of that, I gain a certificate in piano pedagogy as well. And I'm just so excited to be able to finish this degree and with all the knowledge that I gained throughout it. Yeah.
So how did you get started playing the piano?
Oh, so I'm originally from Romania, and there the system is a little bit different than here in US. So we have elementary, middle school, and high school that are different approach. They have art section into them. So if you wanna pursue any type of art, you would have to go to those schools. Or while here in US, in any school, you have access to certain type of classes related to art. There you won't have that. You will have to go to that specific school. So I started when I was 7 years old in my first grade with piano, and mainly it's not because it was my wish. It's just because my father plays accordion, and that's his main job, and he plays in gigs in Romania or Romanian folk music. So because of that was his wish, he thought it's a decent career. You sit and perform, it's not exhausting, but that was his understanding. He had no idea what's going to happen later, because yes, it's easy physically, but mentally it's very consuming. So I started when I was 7 years old in that school, and I had intensive training, like 3 hours of piano lessons every week, 3 hours of theory classes every week from the first grade. And when you go in the middle school section, they add 1 more hour, and in high school they keep you at 4 hours of piano per week with the teacher, individual lessons. So that's how I started. It wasn't love at first sight for sure. In my case, I learned how to love it, and I love competition. And because I love competition, on the 3rd grade I started going to some small competitions, and that's what awakened the interest inside of me towards piano, because I used the instrument to go and compete. So I was like, okay, I'm doing this because I love the idea of competition. It wasn't about music with me in the beginning. I was a little bit different than majority that are in this field. So yeah.
So before you got to Texas Tech, what was kind of your journey through music after high school?
So after high school, I stayed in Romania for my undergrad, and I went to Gheorghe Dima Music Academy. where I did my undergrad in piano performance as well for 4 years. And being there I took one of the chamber music teachers that I had there, while I was in my last year, came with a question to me in the fall semester of 2012. Yeah. And she was like, what do you think about the idea of going to study in US and do a master in collaborative and chamber music in US? And I was really excited about that thought. I never considered US as a possibility for me to study. I was thinking I'm going to do a master in Romania at the same university, and then maybe go somewhere. At that time, everyone would go in Great Britain. It was a trend back then in Romania. So it's like, I'm going to do the same like everyone. So, but this opportunity came. I just asked, what do I have to do? I applied for it, and I got I got approved to go in that program. I studied there with a Romanian teacher at St. Houston State University. It's where my master is in collaborative music. And I got approved with the scholarship, and I was able to afford to do this huge jump and in my career. And coming from only solo performing to change basically to chamber music and collaborative performance, it's a different realm. It's a different area in a way, even if you use the same instrument. I felt the shock of changing, playing by memory, and suddenly I used to play a recital every 4-5 months, and suddenly you have to be on stage with a full recital in sometimes 3 weeks or 2 weeks. So I got to taste that. I haven't had that experience before, so it was stressful. The master 2 years program was very stressful with all the adjustment. But that's my transition from European system to American system, and my English at that time wasn't really good, so it was a lot of struggle, but I'm not complaining at all. I love it. And then from my master degree, I had to work 1 year after that with an extension of the student visa. That's where I met my piano teacher from the doctoral degree, and that's how I got to Tech.
So now I'm just curious, what do you think are some skills that you've gained from working as and learning as a collaborative pianist compared to just learning solo rep?
So, firsthand, it's sight reading. I had zero training in sight reading till I got to US for my master's degree. And there were, in the curriculum of the undergrad, there was chamber music classes that you had to take, but you still had to play one sonata a semester. So one sonata, like a full sonata, 3-movement sonata with like trio, duo, whatever, and you had 3.5 months to prepare it. When I came here, and I remember my very first class with my teacher in the master program, and she was like, okay, look at this music. In 2 weeks, you have to perform it, and the composer is going to be in the hall at the concert. And I was like, what do you mean in 2 weeks? I've never done that before. So one of them, it's sight reading, which I had at 0, and now I'm decent, not where I should be or where I would like to be, but I think I'm doing a decent job. And then the awareness of, under brackets, the noise around you produced by your colleagues in the ensemble. So that's something that I haven't trained either, because until today I haven't got to play with an orchestra yet. Mm-hmm. So those one sonata a semester, it's not enough to be aware of the surroundings in this kind of way. So that's the second one that I would say, which I would put it on the first level of importance as sight reading, probably even more important as being able to have that organic dialogue with the person that you are collaborating through listening, and then sharing ideas and how you put two personalities that may be alike or not, or have different views about the same phrase or the same movement, and how can you find a common ground into that. And that's the beauty to me in a collaboration, is that common joint exploration of the same notes on the page of music.
So going back to kind of your history with the instrument, what made you want to be a music major in the first place? I know you talked about your father a little bit, but are there anything else?
So that was in the first place, that was what made me. My father pushed me, and then the idea that through music I get to compete with other people and satisfy that ego. Later on, this started in my undergrad, where up to that moment I was going like 4 or 5 competitions a year, national and international, and I've been under that pressure and drained me completely, like emotionally and mentally drained me, like he put me on zero from that perspective. And then in my undergrad I stopped doing competitions and I started enjoying what art and music really is, and discovering the beauty of sound on its own, not because you have to make it and aim for a prize in a competition. I took out that pressure out of my mind, and I'm glad I was able to do that, because probably otherwise I would have quit. All those prizes that I gained and all that recognition in Romania and degree, like diplomas, and it's good, it's useful as a CV, but it killed the pleasure. It pushed me away to find the pleasure of music. So that's what I mostly gained in my undergrad. Take away the pressure of being on the top 3 and try to learn how to enjoy actually what music is, and allow yourself to have a connection and not feel bad if you do a mistake. And that was a painful process, but I guess I got some good results by pushing myself for years in that direction, because it made me feel that I can stay home in an evening and play by myself and not feel guilty if I do something wrong, but feel that I vibrate for that moment and with that moment, and I'm carried away. And I got to taste those in a very free manner like never before. So that's what kept me going. And then the experience of US and chamber music, it's a completely different area. Can I do that, what I just discovered? Like, can I stay that connected with the music, being with someone else in an ensemble? And guess what? You find that it actually goes even deeper. And I'm just excited to see. It's a journey that never ends. That's why I'm seeing it now, and I'm excited to see what's at even deeper layers than where I am now, to discover that. So that's what's motivating me right now.
So what made you want to study at Texas Tech University?
Fair answer. I had no clue. I haven't heard about Texas Tech. As I said, I worked 1 year after my master's degree down in the valley in Edinburgh, McKellen area, as an accompanist for high school and middle school choirs, right after my master's degree. And I just went to a recital by chance there, and guess who was performing? Dr. William Weston. I had no clue about him, as I said, or Texas Tech. And at that time, I was like applying for other doctoral degrees, and I was trying to pursue a doctoral degree in chamber music or like collaborative. And I applied to UT Austin and Houston, and I think 2 more. I can remember top of my head. It's like 4 years since then. But after the recital, I really enjoyed his performance, and I read his description in the program about him, and I saw Texas State University. I was like, it's in Texas. I like Texas. Okay, that's only positive. So after that, I went and I talked a little bit with him, and I asked him if they have any DMA programs in collab, and he was like, we don't have collab, but we have performance, and let's exchange some information, like email information, and let's keep in touch. And after 2 months, I haven't sent any email because my main goal was UT Austin. Mm-hmm. And by some reason, it didn't go through. And it was meant to happen. That's how it's in my head. Dr. Wesley emailed me, hey, are you still interested in applying for this? But when I found out that UT Austin is not working anymore, all my program was like, I was with Frank Violin Sonata, Violin Piano Sonata in my program to go there. I had nothing solo for auditions. So in like a month, I had to bring solo program. I looked previous places that I worked and tried to bring them alive to come here and give the auditions. So I came here to Tech because of that recital of Dr. Wesney and because of the talk afterwards, compiled together with the fact that he reached out to me after that. So that's how I got to Texas Tech. And I believe in the fact that life works its ways and makes it happen as it has to happen, even if you want it differently. And I think I could have not been more blessed than I am in regards to being here and doing the degree at Tech, because Dr. Wesley was just fabulous, was exactly like a glove for me, like what I needed to open me up and complete the full circle that I started in my undergrad and make me understand and answer. I answer almost all the questions that I had before I came to Tech due to him. And then the environment that was a Tech with all the piano keyboard department. And it was just, I had no clue in what I'm going to, because I didn't do research about Tech. It's just like, okay, I liked him, how he played. I liked how he talked. I like his philosophy. I like his book. I guess it's going to happen. And even if he's the only good thing that happens at Texas Tech, I'm blessed with that. But guess what? That wasn't the only. Everything was great. So yeah.
So let us shift gears a little bit now, and really why you're here today. Congratulations on winning the piano division of the 2020 Texas Tech Concerto Competition. What did it feel like when you heard the news?
Oh, was, of course, as you can imagine, full of excitement, because I competed the previous year, the previous edition as well, and I got the second place. Like I was on the sub in case Charles would have not been able to perform. And now just knowing that I made it and I'm gonna have an opportunity to finally have my debut with an orchestra, I felt it's all the effort since I was 7 years old are worth it, because look, there is the result. How could I've ended better DMA degree than with this gift? So it was just full of joy and excitement, but very rational stuff, very healthy type of excitement. In the past, I was like ego proud, or like, oh, I made it and I gained the first place of Romania at national competition. This one was different, was in a way less meaningful, but healthier as important somehow. It's a very interesting feeling. I'm still analyzing it because it's quite interesting.
So for the competition, you performed Fran List, Toten Tons. Can you explain the process for preparing a big piece like that?
So one of my favorite composers since I was very little was Franz Liszt, just because he has a very virtuosic way of composing. His music, it's like that. It's demanding technically. Um, so I really like that, and was a challenge and was a joy in the same time to start working on this piece. It makes you feel good physically. If you can figure out how to approach those passages, it really fulfills you from that perspective. And music wise as well. So how did I approach it? Usually I don't have a very clear specific structure on how to approach based on a period of the composer, or like I just go, I start looking through it, run passages. But with this is a concept new for me in a way, since I met Dr. Weston, it's reinforced. Everything has to feel good physically. So that was the idea. So I run passages, I see where I have difficulties. Memorization process, that's obvious because you have to perform by memory. So in the same time, pay attention to memory and give yourself as many informations you need and main connections that you can make to retain that in a very healthy way, the material. And then just go and drill on the passages that are like giving you a hard time, if you want to call it like that. How in all the manners that we learn throughout, and it's different for everyone. For me specifically, I'm kind of impatient and a perfectionist, so it's the worst combination. And I like to have results right away. I feel like if I put the effort now, I want the result to see right after, and I want the result to stay there. And guess what? That never happens in our field. It's like the next day you can come and have to start again everything. So I'm struggling with that. But my best friend was always get the feedback that your body gives you and always keep it slow. Don't cash in or cash out. I think that's how we say the expression here. Like it's basically, it's like Las Vegas. You go and you put the money and you see you are keep winning, but put small bets every time and don't rush to get the money out. Same here. Do it slower, analyze the sensation, keep it to feel right, days and days and days, and the speed is gonna come by itself because it's quite a fast piece and challenging jumps and big chords and octaves and runs. And so if you wanna go and keep performing it, it's just you are making it harder for yourself. So my best friend was like everything under tempo, and just feel healthy. Don't think about music. Music, it's there. You just have to allow it to happen. That was from the musical perspective. And then I connect quite easy with this kind of writing. So I guess that's very simple. Like probably I describe it even too superficial. But as I said, everything slower and feel good. Like I wanted to go out after a practice session. That was my goal, and always feel like I went to a massage in a way, master wise, technique wise. That was my goal, and it worked because I had no pain throughout the entire piece. And it's like 70 minutes of, out of those 17, probably 14 are just crazy music, like it moves like crazy. So it felt good. I never had issues. Any type of pain in my arms. So I guess I've been successful. I would say that.
So you alluded to a little bit towards the next question, but maybe you have a couple extra little tools or advice that you could give a musician that is preparing for a competition like this.
As I said, I've done a lot of competitions in my middle school, high school, and just 2 or 3 in my undergrad. And was always about preparing to win or like aim first 3 places. And to me, I'm kind of shifting from that. I shifted already from that approach and that view about competitions. I don't like competitions, to be honest, because I think they kill the artistry, they kill the magic of the moment, they take out the art. It's just about be as close to perfection as you can, and that's not the purpose of music and art to me anymore. It's good to have it in the society as we work and to have to build up your resume and your CV, and it's very good like for that. But how to approach it? First of all, if you reach the level of going for a competition, that means you have a certain technical ability. It doesn't matter the instrument. So that's out of discussion. We don't talk like how to practice certain passages. It's implied that you kind of have that knowledge. So then it's just about, to me, it's about the mental practice, the mental preparation. And it's about how you see a competition. I used to see it back then as I said, just make it. You have to get the prize. You have to make just 1, 2, 3 mistakes, small mistakes, max. Otherwise, you are down. You are on the 4th place already. So if you scratch throughout the piece, you just take out of the 100 points maximum that you can gain from the judges. So that was, and that puts a pressure, an extra pressure, unhealthy one that kills you as an artist. So my advice would be, try to forget that it's a competition. Try to see it, even though I had a discussion with Dr. Wesley, and yeah, in a competition, you try to keep yourself more calm, cooler, not let yourself boil emotionally and like invest that much energy to have more control on things that you go, and be sure that you go through things quite good. I feel like if I do that, I go back in the old habits. I have to shift completely and forget and perform like it's a solo recital, like it's a degree recital, or like I'm performing for my family in the Thanksgiving dinner. That's how I have to, like, I just want them to enjoy. If they want to enjoy and give me something, that's something that I may receive. It's just the result of me feeling that I'm fully into that moment. I don't care about doing it right. I just go with what's happening. If you know that you put in the work, a healthy way of working and preparing for that, technically, I mean. So that's my advice. Don't see it as a competition. Try to see it as a recital, as a moment that life's in which life allows you to share your view with your audience, even if there are 3 judges, 4 judges, 5, whatever in the room, but see it as a performance where you actually share some emotion with someone and you try to please someone through the sounds that you are producing. That's my advice. That's how I see it, and probably I'm not gonna shift the duration. I may go deeper into this in the future, but I'm not going to shift because it works for me. And yeah, I think that's the healthiest way for me, and I think for many, because it's connecting with what art is. I guess I'm assuming that.
So for our last question today, but a very important question, what advice would you give your younger self that just started their piano journey?
Oh, the answer was in the previous line that I just said. Don't aim for number 1, number 2, number 3, whatever. Don't aim for a rank. Aim for understanding as young as you can the meaning of art, the meaning of music. Aim for unfolding the ways in which you can connect with what you are doing, not for the purpose of a prize or anything like that, especially if you go for that. And back in Romania, they would in a way force you to go, because the school would get recognition, and in the future you will see how good it is and all of that. Yes, but if you do it in an unhealthy way, it just destroys so many potential great musicians. So that's the advice that I'd give myself. Don't worry about first, second, or third. Don't worry about what people say. Try to enjoy every time when you sit down on that bench and put your hands on those white and black pieces of wood, and try to enjoy what's coming out of there from that perspective. Not try to make it perfect to get the prize or to get good comments after a performance, either for a recital or what. That's not important. Important is for you to resonate, and someone old from the room that has nothing to do with music, or young, or a kid, will come and say, like, I felt like whatever. That's more important than the 100 points that you get from a judge or whatever. So that's what I would say. That's what I would do different. I wouldn't necessarily say that I would choose another career, or I would say, like, don't do this anymore. No, it's so much beauty and so much passion and juice in this field that it's worth it to explore it.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Jacob, for sharing your story and sharing the wisdom that you gained through all of the degrees and all of your life history thus far. And we look forward to hearing your performance with the Texas Tech University Orchestra in the future.
Appreciate very much, and thank you from the bottom of my heart for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed the interview with Dr. Jacob just as much as I did. We look forward to seeing you next Tuesday with another episode of a Music Hub Moment brought to you by the Texas Tech University School of Music. Thank you, and have a great week.